Morbius, brand new Sony Spider-Man universe film, stars Jared Leto, Adriana Arjona, Jared Harris, Matt Smith, and Tyrese Gibson. Tells a story about biochemist Michael Morbius, who currently has a disease and tries to cure himself with a rare blood disease, but he has inadvertently infects himself with a form of vampirism, instead using bats. The film is an hour 44 minutes. It's PG-13 and has two mid-credit scenes. You do not need to stay throughout the entire credits. Let's talk Morbius. So welcome back to the channel. My name is Max Bloomberg. Welcome back. We're talking about Morbius here on Max Talk Movies. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do these types of movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, box office breakdowns. We'll break down Morbius's box office on Monday. Like the video, guys, the thumbs up, and let me know your comment section down below. First of all, if you've seen the film, let me know it's one of your least favorite Spider-Man type films before. Are you excited for the future? Do you like the post-credit scenes? If you have not seen the film, are you excited for Morbius? Are you waiting for this for streaming? Or you guys check this one out just because of your love of the Spider-Man franchise? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's talk Morbius. So I was not excited for this film. This film was supposed to come out. The film started shooting 3 years ago and was originally released in 2020. This is one of the last films really to be hit by COVID in the early parts of COVID. It was supposed to come out in 2020, got pushed into 2021, and then was pushed all the way. It was supposed to come out in January of this year, and then has finally coming out now here in April 1st, on April Fool's Day, but I saw it March 31st. So I was not excited for this movie. I've been on such a high with the Spider-Man franchise. Obviously, with No Way Home just really hit the right spot for me. I even had a really fun time with Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Not a great movie, but I had a really fun time in the theater. And what happened in No Way Home just got me so excited. But the trailers for this, especially the last week, with directors getting interviewed, with the director of the film, his interview, a Matt Smith interview, and the early reviews really did not get me excited. The current Rotten Tomatoes of this movie is 16%. Now, before I get into my thoughts, I do want to say my thoughts or any critic's thoughts if they hate or love a movie. That's not your opinion. You make up your own mind. And that's what I try to do every time. I knew my low expectations. I had very low expectations, but if the movie worked, I would have said it worked, but it didn't. So let's get into my only I have two positives, I guess I have to say with this movie. The first one is that I thought by far one of my favorite character and performance was Adria Arjona, who plays Martine Bancroft, who plays Morbius's #1 trusted doctor, who he kind of has like a love interest with. She was very good in the movie. I hadn't really seen her in a lot of stuff before, and I thought she was doing the best job that she could. I say the actors are not at fault for anything. I think Jared Leto, this is a weird thing for Leto because normally, for good or for worse, he just goes all in on every performance. It's either too much, so it's awful, or it's also really good. This movie is such a middle of the road performance for him where it really sums up the whole movie. Jared Harris is absolutely wasted. Matt Smith has some fun. He kind of knows what movie he's in for the most part, even though he's come out and said he has no idea what his character actually is. So that's not exciting. And Tyrese Gibson is in such a minor role where he's playing a detective with another cop, and he's actually supposed to be the serious cop, which was a bit of a turn on that. But I did think Arjona as Martine Bancroft was probably my favorite character and performance out of the entire film. Another part that I liked is that there is a scene with Matt Smith and Jared Leto in the jail scene that I actually liked. That's about it. Let's get my negatives. I really did not like this movie. This is a really old school, feels like an early 2000s superhero film gone wrong. This for me is even worse than what people complained about with the first Venom film. And while I think probably on quality from a story point of view, it kind of hits the same points as Venom 1, the main difference is that you have a very entertaining main character and a really entertaining lead actor in Tom Hardy. You don't really have it because this is a vampire film. This movie is taken, I'm not joking with you, completely serious. And at times too dark for the type of character that Morbius is. And because of that, you don't have as much fun watching this movie. The there's two things that, in my opinion, you could really determine by watching this movie. You'll be bored by it. I was really bored watching the film. And it's just absolutely bland. There's like no substance to it. The editing is awful in this movie, especially in the first 15, 20 minutes, where they cut from an opening scene, then they cut 25 years prior, cutting back, they go back and forth. The first 25, 30 minutes of this movie is the worst part of the movie. The editing is all over the place. Clearly there's ADR just thrown in there. It's horribly also directed. I know Daily Espinosa has been he's been spoiling a lot of the stuff for some reason on Twitter the last week. He's just, I don't know what happened. He's directed a couple of films. I haven't really seen all of them. Life came out in 2017. I thought it was an okay science film, but I haven't really seen any of his other films. These writers don't have a good credibility with their past films. What the writers wrote, Gods of Egypt, awful film. The Last Witch Hunter, awful film in 2015. And then Power Rangers 2017, which is not very good as well. So not a great his filmography for those guys. That did not get me excited. And the script is not very good because Morbius becomes this vampire at times too quickly. And this movie, while it's an hour 45, because you're bored, it feels like you're sitting there for a while, but the whole story is absolutely rushed. Like they give you no time to breathe. And at times when you actually get into scenes, cut and they cut to something else. And you're like, oh, I was about to get, actually, I was kind of liking that and getting into that. And then they cut. And it's a big mistake from a direction point of view. The score is also not really good. It absolutely rips off Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard's Batman Begins score. When you listen to the score, it literally is identical to the Batman score in Batman Begins. Not good whatsoever from this composer. I don't like crapping on anyone like this, but it felt a bit offensive how they would use that type of score in this film. The action is not very good because you can't see anything that's happening. I can't tell you, the CGI isn't that great, but you really don't know because the action scenes, who knows if they were good or not, because you can't see anything that was happening. I was talking to my friend, I watched my friend, we're both diehard movie fans, diehard Spider-Man fans, and we were looking at each other the whole time saying, what is going on? I can't even see what is going on half the time, these action scenes. It doesn't even feel like this movie has a third act. It absolutely rushes through a big climax between Jared Leto and Matt Smith. And the movie automatically I was like, is the movie actually really about to end? Probably not. And the movie ends, I was like, wow, they really ended on that note. And I do want to say this as well, as a big Spider-Man fan, this was probably the worst post-credit scenes I can remember in any superhero film. It was truly shocking how the execution, the dialogue in these post-credit scenes are awful. There's two. After the movie ends, there's like a quick couple of credits and they show a scene. That scene ends and they finish off the fun credits, then another scene and that's it. They are awful and they made the film a lot more confusing. And it doesn't get me excited for the future of the Sony Spider-Man universe. As you know, Michael Keaton's in this movie. Don't want to tell you how much he's in the movie. A lot of what's in the trailer, it's not in the movie. And all that Spider-Man connection isn't really in that movie except for the post-credit scenes. So if you're wanting to watch this movie hoping for some Spider-Man connections, you're going to have to sit through a 1 hour and 40-minute movie before you get to those connections. So overall, I am disappointed. Not really disappointed because this is what I thought would happen, but this does not get me excited for the future of the Sony Spider-Man universe. I feel bad for all the actors involved. They tried their hardest. None of the performances are bad whatsoever. The dialogue is bad. The direction's not very good. The editing is so choppy. You can't see any of the action. The score rips off Hans Zimmer. And other than that, that's my thoughts. I'm going to give Morbius a 0.5 out of 5, guys. I'm sorry, 17% for Morbius. Just not a good movie. And I know it has a 16%. I'm going 17%. If you like the movie, I'm so happy you do. I'm not going to hate you if you do, but let me know your thoughts. If you agree with me, let me know why. If you don't agree with me, you actually find Morbius enjoyable, let me know why and what aspects did you like of the movie, like the video. I'll be breaking down Morbius's box office on Monday, as well as I have another Netflix movie review should be coming in this weekend, as well as another, my ranking of all the movies I saw in the month of March. That will not include Morbius, because Morbius technically is an April release. But tons of movies coming out in April that I'll be checking out, including Sonic and Ambulance next week. So that's my thoughts on Morbius. If you want to see my other reviews, including my reviews of Spider-Man No Way Home, find it right there. Then Let There Be Carnage, also right there. And my other 2022 movie reviews you can find right here. And then subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys soon.